Welcome back. We are now in lesson 5 of module 1. Of course, as we know, the module is called Thinking About the Business of Music, and lesson 5 is titled One Size Does Not Fit All. And obviously we're talking about your career in the music business. There are a lot of moving parts in any career, but particularly in a career in the music business. There are a lot of different approaches you can take, a lot of different roads you can go down, a lot of different services you can seek out from the industry of music. And not every artist is going to require the same services. All right, one of my good friends is a guy called Colin Daniels. Colin is a senior music business executive, started his career as an A&R person and moved through a lot of different roles in both major labels and independent labels. I will say genuinely that Colin's one of the smartest people that I've met in the music business, and he has a really nice way of summarising what the music industry does. And it's really simple. We do 4 things. We do what an artist doesn't want to do, what an artist doesn't know how to do, what an artist doesn't have the time to do, and what an artist doesn't think of doing. I'm in the service business. I serve the artist. So put that thought together with the thought from the last lesson about partner mindshare, and you can start to see a whole way of thinking about the music business emerging. And of course, that's why we call this module Thinking About the Music Business. So let's go through Colin's statement in a lot more detail. Let's start with things the artist doesn't want to do. Now, all of you watching these, at least most of you, are artists. And if you're not artists and you're doing this course because you want to be a part of the music industry without being an artist, look at it from that perspective as well. Things the artist doesn't want to do. Stop for a moment and think about some of your peers. Think about some of the artists that you know, friends that you've grown up with, members of your own band if you happen to be in a band. Think about the different artists that you know. Some of those artists probably love building connections with audiences on social media. They are into it. You know, look at the success Lady Gaga had, for example, with connecting with her audience online. There's hundreds of artists who are really, really good at that. Others hate it. The idea of doing a social media post, the idea of updating an Instagram, thinking of some more content, they hate it. They'd much rather be making music. They're all different. Some artists will spend hours listening to a master of their recording and tweaking every little frequency. They love it. It's something that they really find exciting about their role in the music industry. Others barely know what mastering is and don't really care. And that's fine too. Some artists never want to leave the experimental safe confines of their home studio, and others never want to come home from being on tour. You know, immediate depression the moment the tour is over because you're not out there connecting live with people, and the idea of being home alone in your studio working on the next record is something that you keep putting off and dreading. So there are lots of things that the artist doesn't want to do. And that's one of the things that the music industry does, according to Colin's great statement. Now, there are things that the artist doesn't know how to do. This is a question that has a fairly obvious answer. Is there anything you don't know how to do? And I think for most of you, you'll say, yep, there's quite a few things within my career that I'm not really an expert at. Do you know how to upload your music directly to all the world's streaming services? Could you just sit at your laptop and personally put your music on Spotify? And the answer is, actually, you can't do that. Spotify are not interested in receiving music from you. So you don't know how to do that. Do you know how to write a media release? I've had so many artists say to me, I cannot write about myself. I don't know where to begin. And that's fine. Do you know how to bring life and energy to your mixes? Some of you do. Some of you are technically great, creatively brilliant in the studio, and others are not. And that's also fine. Things the artist doesn't have time to do. Well, I'm really glad that you've got time to listen to these courses, or you're making the time. That's a really good thing. But what you could have been doing when you were doing these courses or hearing these lessons is you could have been calling every radio station in your state. There's a lot of them. Asking them, hey, why don't you play my music? Or you could be sitting down with some accounting software and managing your band's finances. It's time consuming. Or you could be trolling through your own social media, and every time somebody says something nice about you, you could take the time and connect with them and say, hey, thank you very much for that really nice comment. It makes us feel great. You're awesome. And chances are, even early in your career, you're not going to have the time to do that with every person that comments on your social media. Reality is that there's 24 hours in the day, 7 days in a week, 12 months in a year, 300, you know what I'm saying. There's a limited amount of time. And you'd rather be doing some other things than all of the different elements of your music business career. And then finally, there are things that the artist doesn't think of doing. Ask yourself, be honest. Do you know everything you could do or should be doing to make your career more successful? And it doesn't matter who you are. The answer is no, you don't. Because nobody knows everything that could be done, should be done, or nobody else has ever thought of doing in the past. You need other brains involved in your career. Nobody knows everything they need to know, including me, particularly me. All right, now, if I was to ask those 4 questions to 100 artists that are doing this course, I would not get 2 answers the same. Every artist is different. Some love the studio, some love the tech side of music, some love marketing and promotion, some love playing live, some love connecting with fans, interacting on social media, all that sort of stuff. Some love making videos, others hate it. Some artists love coming up with ideas for photo shoots, others dread the day of photo shoot day. No 2 artists are the same. No 2 artists are the same in their needs. Now, here's the thing with the business of music. Whenever the artist has a need, and I think we've just established that there are hundreds of different needs for artists, every time an artist has a need, a business will pop up to fulfill that need. A service provider, a business, an individual, a consultant, a record company, a publisher, a booking agent, whatever it might be, any need that an artist has, and let's face it, that's expanding every year, there's going to be a business pop up and offer that service. No doubt at all. Now, that's how most businesses in most industries work. They identify a need, they determine the market for that need, they find a solution for the need that they've observed, and they set a price that will create a demand for that solution. And that's what all of the service providers in the music industry do. It's just really basic business practice. So, this means to you, if you don't want to self-manage your band, or you don't know how to manage your band, or you don't have the time to manage your band, maybe you need to engage a manager. But if you want to get a manager, that manager, no matter how nice they are, if they're running a business and they're serious about their role in the music industry as well, which is probably someone that you would want to have as a manager, that manager is going to want to have 20% of your income or 15% or whatever it might be. And we're going to come back to that in a whole module about managers. So you ask yourself, is it worth giving up 20% of my income to have somebody else do something that I don't want to do, I don't know how to do, or don't have the time to do? And your answer is probably going to be, in the case of a manager, well, it depends how good the manager is. If they're really good, I'm happy to give up 20% of my income. If they're not really good, I'd rather do it myself. This applies to every service in the music business. Doesn't matter whether it's digital distribution or publishing or tour management or booking shows, doing publicity, pitching your music to playlists, digital marketing, you name it. It's something that some artists can do. Highly unlikely that every artist will be good at all of those things, and it's highly unlikely that any artist will have the time to do all of those things. So this makes it an interesting conundrum for you to face. What you need to do is be realistic about your own capabilities and make these choices. Can we do this ourselves? And if we do it ourselves, will we do it well or will we do it badly? And if we can't do it ourselves, or we don't want to do it ourselves, or we don't have the time to do it ourselves, what would we be prepared to pay to have somebody else provide that service to us? Now, for some artists, the idea of hiring a record producer to produce their album is a complete waste of time, because their skill set lies in making their own record. That's what they're good at. But they might need to hire a publicist, because producing a record and doing publicity are vastly different skill sets. For other artists, it's 100% essential to hire a producer, because if they tried to produce their own record, it would be crap. Am I allowed to say that on Vampr Academy? I think I am. It would be a really bad record, and they need a producer. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just admitting where your skills lie and where your skills need to be supplemented by somebody else. It's exactly the same with any other role. Now, most artists would happily pay to have a publicist do publicity. Most artists don't like doing publicity. It's really hard contacting radio stations or media and saying, hey, you should write about us or play our record because we're really good. It's kind of a little difficult to make that pitch yourself. It's nice to get somebody else to make that pitch. But if you wanted to hire a publicist, would it be a reasonable decision to allow that publicist to then own your music? And the answer is no, it wouldn't. And if you've got a publicist who's saying to you, hey, I want 50% ownership of your copyrights, don't do it. It's not essential, it's not required, it's not ethical, and it's not necessary. And a good publicist would never ask to own your music. So this is what we're getting to here. You have to identify, as an artist, where you fit in the scheme of things, what your skill sets are, and what services that you are prepared to pay for in one form or another. Now, artists who perceive the music industry to be the enemy often talk of services being offered to artists and that service is a scam. Somebody's offering to pitch your music to, Netflix on the condition that they keep 50% of it and own your music for the rest of history. That sounds like a really bad deal to me. But is it a scam, or is it an uneducated artist making a bad decision? It's probably not the most honourable kind of practice, and I wouldn't recommend that anyone go down that path, but does that make it a scam, or does that make it preying on people who haven't taken the time and trouble to become knowledgeable about that area? So, all of these different services that are provided to you as an artist, we are going to work our way through as we go through this course. Managers, publishers, record labels, distributors, publicity, all of those different services. And what you are doing by doing this course is you are enabling yourself to make rational decisions. You're making the rational decision based on a knowledge of who does what in the music industry and what the sort of deal or relationship structure should be. So put this together with the previous 4 lessons from this module, and I really hope that by now you're starting to think, all right, I'm starting to think like someone who understands the business of music. Even though I'm an artist, I'm now becoming a sophisticated business person within the music industry. And that's obviously what we're trying to do here. All right, hope you got some value out of that, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in a few minutes or in a few days or whenever you do lesson number 6. Thank you very much.